What's up, guys? Thank you for joining me again today on Instinctive Addiction Archery. I'm your host, Jeff Phillips, and just want to welcome you to the channel. If you're never tuned in, never been to our channel and seen any of these videos, it's all about traditional archery, okay? All styles, all techniques, pretty much everything to do with single string bows, recurves, longbows, bare bow, whatever. Anything that doesn't have sights, pretty much. Yeah. Guys, I want to show you something today. Now, this is something that I've been dealing with for the last few days. I had a subscriber actually message me and ask me if I could possibly do a video on elevated rests. Okay, so I thought, you know what? Yeah, I'd like to really explain the difference because lots of guys have ILF bows. And that is an international limb fit bow, typically an aluminum riser that you can switch limbs out on. And, you know, guys, they come with the threaded burger holes already in them. Like I'll show you this one. Like, for instance, all of these risers actually come with threaded burger holes in them so that you can put elevated rests on them. Okay, now I've got this particular bow set up just to shoot off the shelf with Velcro. Simply Velcro, nothing special. I got it built up where my arrow is center shot enough that it tunes good and everything is great and fine. And that's how I typically shoot this bow. But I've got a different bow that does not have a radiused shelf, and it is my bare bow. Okay, it is the Miracle X10 here. Now, it is strictly designed to shoot a rest off of. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys that, and I'm going to show you kind of what you can do and what the differences are in actually shooting the two. And from what I found out, once I got out here and I actually really got to testing shooting bow to bow to bow to bow, one with a rest, one without a rest, there's not a lot of difference at all. There's really not, but I have found something very intriguing. I really have. I actually have, number one, I have found what, in my opinion, is probably your best option if you're going to put a rest on your bow, because I played with a lot of different ones, lots of different little styles and whatnot, and especially if you are going to be hunting, I found one, guys, that is bulletproof. I mean, really bulletproof. It's cheap. I mean, literally $20 to $24, I think, something like that. Very well priced. And it is made by NAP. Okay, the NAP Archery Company makes a flipper style rest that threads through your burger hole and has a Teflon sleeve on the launcher arm. Okay, so this thing is very forgiving, very simple, bulletproof, easy to shoot, and I have actually put it on my bare bow, okay? And it shoots, honestly, better than any other rest that I've had up there. It really does. So, what that brings me to is, should I put one of these on my regular ILF hunting bow? Should I? Yes, I believe I'm going to. I really do. And I'll tell you why, guys, and I'm going to share this with you. And hopefully it'll be helpful to you, because I've had this question asked a lot about the ILF risers. Should I run a rest or should I not run a rest? Okay, here it is. Guys, this is what it looks like. All it does is thread through. This is the NAP flipper. Here it is. It's got a little spring to it. That is, and this right here, this part actually moves in and out. It's all one piece. But it is the really the right tension that you want against your arrow, because you don't want anything too hard. You got to have some give right there so that when your arrow comes off, that it's going to help with the paradox. All right, so I put this simple rest on this bare bow here, on this Olympic recurve. And it is so incredibly easy to tune, so incredibly accurate. So I decided to go ahead and order another one for my regular ILF bow. And guys, I'll shoot this thing and show you what I'm talking about and how it really helps with your eye alignment. Let's just say you shoot split vision, okay? Split vision is a mix between pure instinctive and aiming. You are not looking at the arrow tip whatsoever. You're looking at the target, but your peripheral vision picks up on the position of the arrow, whether it's the elevation, the right and left, whatever it is. It aids you in knowing that you have the perfect alignment on your target and helps you shoot very, very accurate, okay? That's how I actually shoot barebow. I shoot split vision. I do not aim with the tip of the arrow, okay? So, after shooting this bow, which is just insanely accurate because it's a 68-inch bow, I actually put one on my ILF riser. I shot it, and I found it to be incredibly easy to shoot. Okay, I really did. So the thing was, guys, I had to find a rest that was capable of handling my kind of hunting, not being careful, not being gentle. Okay, something really tough that would hold up, that does not have too many gadgets, nothing could break, that would really hold up on a hunting bow. And this little NAP flipper is that's my choice, guys. It is. So I'm going to shoot this one, and I'm going to try to explain as I shoot one with a rest and one without a rest. And I'm going to turn and I'm going to show you guys what my sight picture really looks like and how different it really is. Very, very little, guys. It's just a little bit. Let's shoot this thing. All right, so if you guys can see, I want you to look here. I want you to look at this, where this is at. You see, we've got, 3/4 of an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch above where it would be on any normal bow, normal setup. Nock points higher, arrow sitting higher. When I come into my normal anchor, I can really, 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 really see that arrow. I can just see it way more than if it wasn't. In other words, if I take this off, if I was to go down and let's just simulate an off the shelf. No, I'm not seeing the arrow near as much. I'm seeing it, but this much of my arrow has almost left the picture. Okay, it's almost completely left the sight picture. So I'm seeing that that's the advantage to shooting an elevated rest. You guys have asked me this, and I had, like I said, a subscriber asked me the other day, could I kind of do a comparison and what's my thoughts on it? I didn't really know, and I didn't think about it, because shooting an Olympic style bow with an elevated rest, that's the only bow I've shot one on. But now that I have a lot and shot, like hundreds and hundreds of rounds every day with this bow, I've gotten used to that. And like I said, it's incredibly accurate. Incredibly accurate. So, yeah, on my normal ILF rigs for hunting and all, I think I'm going to put the old flipper rest on it. I really do. If you ask me, can I really tell a big difference between the two? No, not really at all. Looking at it, but it does seem to aid a little bit. It does seem to aid in arrow alignment in my sight picture with my dominant eye. In other words, being that it is up higher, it's allowing me, guys, to get it up and actually have it way, way, way seemingly closer to my eye, which allows my peripheral to really, really notice more where my arrow is at. Okay, in other words, it's really aiding in that. That's, to me, the biggest advantage of shooting an elevated rest versus the shelf, because it just looks like the arrow is closer to your eye and you can just see it better than if you don't have one on there. I hope that explains a little bit, but I'm going to shoot this one, and then I'll turn around and shoot one without it and show you guys there's really no adjustment in my shooting at all, really. It's really not. Here we go. Okay. This bow is like insanely accurate. It's crazy. A 68-inch bow is very easy to shoot, that's for sure. Okay, so all I did is look at my spot and shoot my normal shot. My normal shot. I didn't look at the arrow, but I could tell when I was in anchor, I could tell that it was right. If that makes any sense to you. I could just tell in my sight picture that the elevation of that arrow was where it needed to be. Now, if I were to be staring at the tip, if I would have been looking at the tip of that arrow, it would have been well below my intended spot. That's the gap. But I don't look at that. I don't gap shoot, okay? I don't put any focus on the tip of that arrow and where it's at in relation to my targets. That's just how I shoot. I'm shooting more split vision, whereas I'm looking at the exact little tiny spot that I want to hit on the target and letting my peripheral tell me in my sight picture when it's right, when it's where it needs to be at, when it feels good, and I shoot my shot, and it's there every time. Okay, so if I grab this bow, which is strictly set up to shoot off the shelf, I did not put the rest on this particular bow here. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to shoot it the exact same way and hopefully show you guys without any adjusting knowingly that I can do. Just look at it and shoot my shot just like I did there. See if it impacts any different. See if I mentally, subconsciously have to make any adjustments between the two setups. Okay, there you are. Without this rest, now after shooting this bare bow, having that arrow elevated in my sight picture, I just shot 3 inches lower than my other two arrows. Right and left, dead on. 3 inches lower. Now, I will adapt to that. If I was not shooting that bow with the rest and I shot this one a couple more times, I would quickly, subconsciously adjust to that, and I would elevate my bow arm a little bit, and I would be back on. But naturally, I'm seeing that my sight picture that I was just seeing in this is different from what I'm seeing without a rest on here. Completely different, guys. That's what I wanted to bring to you and show you the real difference, okay? So you say, well, which one do you really prefer? Guys, honestly now, after shooting this rest, this NAP flipper rest on this bow, I think I'm going to go ahead and put one on this bow here because I really like the sight picture. I like being able to see exactly where that arrow's pointed. I do. I like it. It just seems to be easier. I can't tell you. So, I mean, in other words, why do you think that everybody shooting bare bow is shooting an elevated rest? Because that's natural. That's just where it needs to be. I mean, nobody is shooting off the shelf with a bare bow. They're not. So is it easier to aim with? Absolutely. If I wanted to gap shoot with this bare bow, it would be way easier for me, and I think way less gap, honestly, if I was doing that. But even shooting split vision, yes, it's a huge guide in where my arrow's at in relation to my target. Okay, there again, even if you try not to, your subconscious will pick up in your peripheral vision, where that arrow is at. I'm just going to shoot a normal shot again and see if it hits in the same spot. Okay, because I know I can adapt real quick, but I'm going to try not to. I'm going to try to just look and shoot my shot. Okay, that one was in, so I've adapted. And that's just the way I do, guys. I'm shooting you straight here. My body adapts to each bow quick. No different if I go in and get one of my longbows out of there or whatever. After I shoot it once, it's just like I pick right up on it. But is it a little different? Yes, it is. I'm virtually not, without a rest, I'm not really seeing noticeably anything of this arrow. I'm not really noticing it near what I did, not even near what I did with this rest. If you can understand that, it's the best way that I possibly can explain it. Having an elevated rest is getting that arrow up in line with my eye, and it is way more noticeable than without, which may be a huge aid to somebody that needs that. I typically just completely ignore my arrow altogether, but from shooting so accurate with this bare bow, it's tempting. It's very, very tempting for me to put a rest on this bow and get even more accurate with it, even for my hunting setup. Shoot this thing just like I do any of them. No different, really. That's crazy. I'm telling you, man, it's, I mean, honestly, yes, I think the elevated wrist is an advantage. I do. I believe it's an advantage. I honestly didn't know, guys. I didn't know until I tried this. But yeah. Now, if you don't have an ILF bow, it's not going to make any difference. I mean, there again. Wait a minute. These, and I believe NAP makes them too. I know I saw them. You can get this same flipper style rest, exact thing, with a stick on. That's not a thread through. They've got the stick on ones. Same arm, same everything. You can get these. So, I mean, think about it, guys. Back old school vintage bows. Think about Pearsons, Bears, all these old Hoyts. Lots and lots and lots of guys through the 70s and early 80s shot flipper style rest on recurves. They did. Pretty common. The designs were not that great, but now they're a whole lot better. And I'll tell you honestly, guys, where I got this one that I've got, I was shooting an Oneida Phoenix, the Oneida bow, Bear, raw bow, 3 or 4 years ago, and I actually bought this rest because it had a threaded burger hole, and I bought this rest that I've got on this bear bow now for that Oneida Phoenix, and that was the best rest I could shoot on it. I was shooting aluminum arrows and all that stuff, just old school raw bear bow, and that rest worked really good. But they do make stick-on versions, so could you do it with a regular wood recurve that's not an ILF? Absolutely, I'm sure you could. It may be a game changer, guys. I mean, honestly, yeah, it's incredibly more accurate. And I guess it's just because it gets it up closer to the eye. I guess, and some guys might say, well, that's not instinctive. Well, so be it. Whatever. You're looking at the target. You're not paying attention to the air. You're shooting it. But if your peripheral vision gives you a very good reference and tells you your sight picture is right and shoot the shot, and you're drilling holes where your arrows are touching, who cares? That's what it's about. It's about being accurate. It's not about just flinging arrows. I mean, you want to be accurate. I do. Especially on animals. So hey, if it's an advantage, take it. I mean, it is what it is, guys. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Super cool, man. There it is. NAP flipper. Like I said, I've got another one ordered now for this bow here. I've got another one ordered for it. Because I don't want to take that off because I've got it set. I've got my center shot dialed in. I've got that thing locked in, lock-tighted. I've got this bear bow. I mean, it is tuned. It's right. And I'm not going to take my rest off and go to adjusting the lock nut and all that to put on this riser because it could be a hair different. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to put this other one on when it comes in, and it just proved to me that they do seem to have an advantage. So, yes, I'm going to try it. And then I'm probably going to get a stick-on version or two. Just order me a couple of the sticky back ones. Same deal. And try those on some of the wood bows. And see if I shoot them even better. And from what it looks like right now, that may be the deal. I think it is, guys. So that's it. Rest or no rest. You make the choice. That's it, guys. Thank you for joining me.